Welcome to So You're Kinda a Big Deal, a weekly podcast deep diving into the lives of emerging and established tattoo artists. Listen in as we dig into origin stories, industry hot topics, and what it takes to survive in the world of tattooing. This is Tattoo Shop Talk. It's funny, it's crass, inspiring, and sometimes we get it right. Join your hosts Shawn, Hedley, and Dave Allen every week as we host a new guest. The True North Strong Tattoo Book. This is a massive tattoo encyclopedia of Canadian tattooers. 350 pages. It's an 11 by 17 coffee table format. Shawn and Dan worked tirelessly to get this thing out, and sadly it never made it to print, so it's available for free download at theholdfastsocialclub.com and championtattoo.ca. The Holdfast Social Club presents So You're Kinda a Big Deal with your hosts, Shawn, Hedley, and Dave Allen.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, Dave.
what's up?
Hi, Sam.
Smith.
Hi.
We
So
are
you're
at
kind of a
Scythe
big
Spade.
deal.
We are in Calgary. I just got tattooed
Yes.
by the world famous piercer, Ryan Gagne.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
He loves being known for that, I'm sure.
he does. Yeah.
Did he make it look all metallic? And
He's been working on his wiping skills ever since I've been calling him out on the podcast about his slap
oh,
wipe.
cool.
Yeah.
Seems worse than a dry wipe.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's like a slap and a slow drag because he'll get distracted and talk to somebody and not really pay attention.
And that's his moment. He's trying to prolong it so he can talk longer.
That too, yeah. Yeah. Anyways. How you doing, Dave?
Audio is kind of weird on Sam's side. Shawn's quite clear, but
Maybe I'm a mumbler.
Probably.
yeah, you probably
How
want
about
to
that?
enunciate.
How about that?
Tim Hortons.
Of all the words you could pick. Are you looking for sponsorship? Could someone please get a hold of Tim Hortons and get Sam a sponsorship already? Tim Hortons.
Maybe we need to do one of those how to pronounce sound clips on YouTube.
Tim
Oh, yeah.
Hortons.
Hortons, but it's actually how to pick out all the tourists who don't say
Hortons.
Hortons.
Yeah. Like going to New York and
Oh.
asking the cab driver to take a Houston Street, and they're like, there's no Houston Street. It's like, oh, it's Houston Street.
You want to go to Tim Hortons?
Hortons.
Hortons.
No such
Yeah.
thing.
Is it beside the Target?
Unfortunately, it's actually quite close to the shop, so we're there a lot.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Steep tea's pretty good.
Oh, I'm a bagel and cream cheese girl. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So's Allie.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Yeah.
Can you
Can't
hear
do
the
it.
tattoo machines?
Nope.
Perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this microphone does suck.
No, that means it's good. God damn it, woman.
No. Ain't picking up shit.
All right,
No.
let's start this stupid thing. So you're kind of a big deal, Sam.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are.
So, Sam Smith, you're in my shop. I hope you guys know. But who I am, oh, this is deep. Ask me a question. Podcast me.
We don't.
Freestyling
What
is
kind of
hard.
baggage? What kind of
Pardon?
baggage did you bring with you into tattooing?
What kind of bags? Not garbage
Baggage.
bags anymore.
Baggage. What kind of
Oh.
baggage did you bring tattooing?
Like, I used to carry all my shit to conventions and
We're trying to mix up the questions.
The Jesse Bean special? You do the Jesse Bean special too?
I don't know who did it first, but I stopped the second somebody almost threw out all my gear at a Saskatoon convention. It happened. Ask Jay.
Wow.
Live and
All
learn.
right. Well, let's start with where did you start?
Ooh, well, I started in the tiny town of Okotoks, Alberta.
Oh, did you?
I did.
What was the shop?
Ghost Town is called. It still is. It's
okay,
still there. It's a different location. They actually gave me a job as a counter girl to save me from being a waitress who had to wear a kilt. And so
Oh,
now I'm
wow.
a tattooer who likes to wear
I was going to say.
a fine girl.
And so how did the counter girl to apprenticeship happen?
Well, actually, it was really weird. I ended up doing all the drawing for everyone in the shop.
Lazy fucking artists.
Really?
I'm just jealous so I can never find those apprentices. I always get people
I
like
know.
Dave that can't draw, and it's like, oh.
Sitting there at a desk for hours at a time, and like this is post a year of art school, so I'm like living and breathing the doodling, and so I just like they didn't even ask me, I just did it, and I didn't even want an apprenticeship. It was like pure boredom.
Really?
I'm like, thank God it was so boring in there, because then they were like, hey, maybe since you're making our portfolios for 6 months,
Oh my God.
try this.
What were your other hopes then? You went to art school.
I was gonna
and
go back
You
to
didn't
art
want to be a
school.
tattooer.
No, I like had no intention of it. I was going to go back to art school, but something I actually just like being a counter girl. I love the client interactions more than anything. Like it's just fun to be nice and have fun exchanges. And I didn't consciously make the decision, but like I know I'm way better suited for that than like being alone in a room painting or something.
Yeah.
So kind of just like fit. It was the most organic thing in the world.
Nice.
And instead of like saying I'm an apprentice, we just stayed late after work and I tattooed Cody Rollinson. Like he's got my very first thing. There was no instruction, maybe 30 seconds of instruction.
Didn't do it.
Wow.
Have at it. He still has it.
That didn't work.
Picture.
Oh, that didn't work.
Yes, dude. Yeah, it's a good choice.
And then there was a moment where I had to ask my parents. I was like, should I like not go back to art school? And they were like, whatever you want. Like you do you. And so in that way they're super supportive. And then that was it. The apprenticeship at the time, like I left when I felt like I wasn't, maybe it was the informality of it all that didn't make me appreciate like the opportunity that was given, but I was like asking questions about machines that couldn't get answered, and it was just like real in-depth shit that I felt like I wasn't learning. And so instead of finding someone to teach me, I just left and went to a walk-in shop where I started trying to figure it out by myself. That's where I met Dave Beam and Cody DeWald, and we've been friends ever since. But
okay.
yeah, I decided the hard way sounded really good.
Smart.
So when did you end up working under Grandpa Doug?
Actually, he plucked me out of that walk-in shop.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked there for probably like 10 months.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. It actually was the location that my first shop was in.
Oh, that's right. Body Ink.
Body Ink.
Yeah, where Ryan Gagne started out as a body piercer.
So like I believe Doug worked there.
Doug worked there. Doug basically started there.
Yeah, totally.
James Tech worked there. Heather McLean worked there.
Did, yes.
Yeah, Ryan Gagne worked there.
Yeah.
As a piercer.
Jenkins,
And then
lots of good tattooers.
yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, in your Kensington shop. That's
Weirdly enough,
right.
I think it was maybe the first female-owned tattoo shop.
Yeah,
for
Shawn
Body
Lee.
Ink. Yeah,
Yep.
totally. And so, weirdly enough, when I moved back from Vancouver from working with Ryan, that shop just like they didn't want to do it anymore, and the space opened up. And I remember Jay told me, and yeah, we were on the phone with the landlords in 5 seconds, being like, "This is too coincidental. This place has so much history. Like, let's keep the good vibes going in there."
Sweet. And then, so how long were you at that location?
5 years. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, crazy.
Of course, lots of good artists passed through there again.
Yeah, we had some times in there, which was great. But we actually had some problems with the city in like December 2020, where they were jacking up our taxes so much. And coincidentally, my lease was ending, I believe, in March. And like the taxes
And the
were
impending
so
boom
high.
of COVID.
Well, no, I didn't
Yeah, no
know.
kidding.
I
Worked out well, though.
honestly, at the time, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like everybody, we were just like, "This is horrific." But and then having to move during the pandemic, like the first few months. Originally, I think I had slated like 2 weeks to move shops, which again, I love
What?
taking the hard way.
More like the impossible way.
Yeah, right. And thank God, COVID gave me like 3 months to do it. Yeah, at the time it didn't feel great, but looking back, it was like, oh, that could not have worked out better. If we had stayed in Kensington too, like we couldn't have survived being shut down for 6 months.
No.
Like it would have, yeah.
Yeah, I got super lucky moving my shop
Did
a
you?
year. I moved it a year before, but if I would have had my same landlords at my previous location,
Yeah.
I'd be out of business.
Oh,
Like,
fuck, that's
yeah, my new
brutal.
landlords were really good, helped me out a lot.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
like thank God we just moved to a cheaper neighborhood. My landlord didn't help, but also I was like the most brand new tenant in the world. You know,
Yeah.
I hadn't really like proved that I'm worth helping yet. But
Yeah.
that's awesome. How serendipitous to like
Yeah.
circumstances swoop in and save you.
Absolutely. So how long were you at Bushido for before we get into Scythe
Oh,
and
back
Spade?
to the
Back to
origin
Grandpa Doug.
story.
Yes.
Villain origin story. Papa Doug adopted me in like 2010, I want to say, till 2013. I could be totally wrong
Wow.
about those dates. It could be 2009 to 2012 or something, but 3 years. And it doesn't feel long now. Like 3 years goes by like that. But in the beginning of my career, it just felt like forever. In a good way. Like my memories there are so formative and positive. Like go to Bushido as much as I can.
Yeah.
We were just there for the dildo art show a couple weeks ago. I just had a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my
Missed
god.
out. We missed out.
Oh God. Heather was really stuck on dildos last week.
Yeah, she was.
Oh,
Hey, like mine didn't work out. My coworker Alex's did. Look at this thing. Gnarly.
Fucking awesome.
oh yeah.
Oh man,
Hi, ball.
Yeah.
Shawn couldn't wait to grab it.
It was so much fun. They were so hard to do that like
Wow.
well, it took 2 hours to work 1 inch of it.
Every man's dream.
So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dig myself a deeper hole. I just submitted
Oh,
a balloon animal dick that I drew on with a Sharpie because I did not have the time to do as good of a job as everybody else did.
Hilarious. Amazing.
It was a fun show though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Doug stuck around all night. It was so busy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually if it's something really busy, Doug doesn't end up lasting all night. He usually gets his but he also his social battery also burns out too.
Me too nowadays,
Yeah.
actually.
yep.
Yeah.
Like working with Doug and it'd be like, where did Doug go? Half the time that dude didn't say goodbye to people.
Oh,
Just
he's
like
the king of the ghost.
king of the ghosts.
The Irish
Like,
goodbye.
yeah, he's better than
The
Dave.
Irish goodbye.
Fucking Dave is good at
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah, that's my specialty. I plan it out before I get there.
it.
I somehow try to make some kind of commotion or get somebody to make a commotion, and then just
Homo Simpson.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you didn't have a traditional apprenticeship.
No.
But you did have fun at a walk-in shop. Then you got to go and have a blast at Bushido.
And learn a lot. Yeah. I think that's where I figured some stuff out. And then moving to Vancouver and working with Ryan.
I forgot that you worked with Ryan. How long was that for?
That was 2 years as well. Like a little baby session. And I mean,
what was that environment like?
Different reasons. I lived down by Granville and commuted to Steveston.
Ew. Gross.
So if I had if life felt hard while I was there, that was probably why. Yeah, I think you see a trend emerging where I just the fuck it attitude gets me in trouble.
I live by Granville and decided to walk to work at least twice a week.
Hey, I would bike. It would take a long time, but
oh my god, to Richmond?
Yeah. Oh. But Steveston was ideal. Like, talk about a magical little town, and having the little bookstore across the street where I go get coffee and look at books every day. It was that town is so cute. That's the most I don't know, fairy tale feeling shop to work in.
Yeah, I didn't even know Steveston existed until he moved there. Yeah. And I lived in Vancouver for a long time. I had no idea. People were like, oh yeah, right. He opened in Steveston. I'm like, I don't know where that is.
Oh yeah. You got to go through a bit of a
super cool. Yeah, it was awesome. Andrea Hart actually drove me there from White Rock once, just when Ryan first opened. She's like, let's go see a shop, I'll drive. I'm like, okay, I have no idea where we're going. And what a rad little fucking area.
Andrea would be by the shop all the time, actually.
Yeah.
I still have never been to White Rock, though, so that's on
what?
It was fun.
I know.
White Rock's a rad little town, too.
Well, at least you didn't drive.
No.
That was fun.
Oh, actually, I did. I drove for a second. I bought a car for $100 and I drove it out to Vancouver to move because I wasn't driving while I was working at Bushido. I lived 2 blocks from the shop, and I drove it out there. It broke down 3 times, and then I parked it kind of in a free parking spot near the apartment I was renting, and I left it there for 2 years. And it was pretty dead. It was very old and shitty, but it was a Honda, so it was still would get me places.
Yeah.
Just
oh wow.
The day I donated it to the Kidney Foundation, we were waiting for the tow truck to come, and someone comes running out of the coffee shop that's in front of it, and it's like, "This is your car." She's like, "You've parked 4 inches too far back. That everyone that parks in front of you gets a ticket for 2 years." I flipped up that entire block, and I just had no idea.
Oh my god,
that's amazing.
Another good story about that car is it was so bad that and the battery connection was so loose, and I know that's a pretty easy fix, but I was trying to drive Chris Anton back to the airport from a guest spot from Steveston, and my car wouldn't start. Nobody else was left at the shop. I was just like, what do I do? And I knew that my connections were bad. Sometimes I'd brush it or something and it would start working. But this time I pulled a bobby pin out of my hair and stuck it in the connection to make it tighter, and it worked. And it was to this day the best MacGyver moment of my entire life.
That's pretty fucking cool.
That's more exciting than half my
no dude would do that. No dude will do that. Miles would have just been I guess I just buy a new car.
I don't know, a wrench.
That might have actually worked a little bit better, but
oh man,
awesome.
So cool. I want to know what Steveston was like working there, because that's such an interesting creative environment.
Yeah, it was very high energy. Ryan brings it every day, as you know. He'd come in first thing in the morning, he's karate kicking off a massage table, and you're just just wake up. It was so much fun, actually. And Ryan really introduced me to the greater tattoo community, because we would do the Vancouver convention and the Saskatoon convention, and I had never done those before. I had only done the Calgary one at that point in time, and my world just exploded, and then my confidence went up, and then I was doing conventions by myself in Europe, meeting a whole other group of people, and this thing keeps
give it to Shawn. He can.
Yeah, no, my experience at Steveston was just like a huge growth spurt.
So when we were in Montreal, the first time you came out, were you at
That was-
Stevenson then?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Ryan took me to that convention for the first time too.
Yeah.
That was
The year that
wild.
you fucking kicked Philip Lou's butt.
That was a plot twist. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah. She won best skull tattoo against Philip Lou.
Oh wow.
Dude, it was the coolest shit ever. Like, and it was legit. Like, her tattoo was by not just better, it was, yeah. Philip Lou, he slept on that one, man.
Well, I mean, him and Kurt Wiscombe tag teamed it, and they were trying to do a back piece in 2 days. So, like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I get to work on my one for a whole day.
Yeah,
and
it was
he's gotta do a
perfect.
fucking back
But like
piece
the
and a-
two, so they did 3 that weekend.
3 skulls. I forgot about
They did
that.
the 3 back pieces, one on Lee Conklin. I can't remember who the other 2 were on, but like Lee got a really good one. Another dude got a really good one. And then one guy, when I saw his, I was kind of like, I didn't think it was them because it was so just,
I wonder who that was.
I don't know. It was like partial cover up. So they did like a broken part in the forehead. It was kind of just not awesome. But the other 2, like the one in Lee Conklin that they did on Lee was fucking cool as
But
shit.
they were all very
And
cool.
I'm pretty sure they actually did his on the first night, so they even had less time to do his, and his went onto his ass. So
Philip Lou had a handicap. Let's put that.
We'll give him a handicap. But still,
But
was
a
amazing,
bit of a
right?
confidence
That was a
boost for
super
sure.
cool weekend. Like,
that was fun.
Right?
Harry tattooed my first palm that weekend,
awesome.
and then I healed it in a pool in Las Vegas because I'm a terrible client.
Hey, I did the same with my hands from Michael.
Did you?
Yeah.
The disrespect.
I straight up told him, I'm like, oh, he's like, what? I'm like, I'm swimming tomorrow. He's like, just don't. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever.
I did the same to him when he just tattooed me too.
Oh my
Then I'm like,
gosh.
oh, yeah, I got jujitsu.
I'm about to go stick this in some dude's crotch and wrestle him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It helped with the healing.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'll touch it up when you get here.
No, it's good.
No, we'll touch it up. Inflict more pain.
No. All right. So you left Steveston because it was too much fun.
Oh,
To go
I
back to
actually
Calgary?
just like missed Calgary big
Yeah.
time. I had some stuff calling me back, and like so many people who move to the West Coast, like it's hard to make a solid support group of friends. Like,
Yeah.
you can make friends you go out on a weekend with, but you're not like there's not community like there is here. That was my main thing, and my family's all here, so yeah, it kind of like I traveled so much those years too, and I think the more I travel, the more I'm like, Calgary is sick. Like, people are sleeping on it. Well, they're not anymore. They're moving here in droves now, but yeah, it took me getting out to realize it's like life is really good here.
Yeah, that was kind of the same for me with Edmonton leaving it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you know what? This place is actually pretty
Not that
cool.
bad.
Yeah, it's cool to live in the cities where people aren't just like think that they're cool to live there.
And now, like, my girlfriend Julia, she'll take me somewhere. I'm like, I had no idea this place existed.
Yeah,
Like, I'm a tourist in my own city that I've lived in since
awesome.
2009.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is really fucking cool. Like, there's so many cool things that I had no idea. Because I'm just like, fuck
she's
it.
got her finger on the pulse.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. I dig it.
What's the tattoo scene like in Calgary these days?
Honestly,
Saturated.
it is very saturated. I have noticed people who don't have like built client bases are super suffering right now. Like, it's really slow for a lot of people.
Yeah. You hear that, Paul? My artist just left my shop to move to Calgary to tattoo. And I was like,
Oh gosh, like the worst possible time,
Yeah.
honestly.
that's okay. He does super original traditional tattoos.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta be like what? You gotta be the first, you gotta be the best, or you gotta be different.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, other than that, like the actual community of it is super fun. Like, I was just out on the weekend with pals, like Bushido, everybody who works there, like, incredible. Like, there's this little community of like newer tattooers too, who have just like reignited the spark of like the fun of doing dildo art shows like Momo put on, and yeah, actually hanging out and like making it fun.
yeah. When I moved here to work at Bushido, that was the one thing I noticed about Calgary was like, what people visit each other's shops here? Like that shit doesn't fly in other cities for the most part. And like coming here, it's like I'm tattooing and all of a sudden like, you know, I have like James Tech standing behind me and it's like, why are you here? And he's like, I have a break
I
between
didn't sign up
tattoos.
for this.
I brought Miles over to see, you know what I mean? But then like, yeah, then like we're going over to this person's shop where I'd pop in at, you know, Immaculate to visit people. And I was just like, yeah, Calgary was so different from a lot of other cities. Like going tattoo in Montreal, I wasn't going and visiting other shops.
No,
you know what
totally.
I mean? Like,
They are friends with each other. It's like if
they're
warm,
friendly,
not
but yeah, it's not like
same.
not like here. You know what I mean? Like
it's not like
people
calling
get-
each other with your
yeah,
problems.
like going to the what was it, Brass Monkey, the bar? What was the name of that bar? Was it the Brass Monkey? I forget the name of the bar.
Drummond Monkey?
Drummond Monkey.
Yeah,
Brass Monkey.
and it's filled with tattoos.
Filled with tattooers, every fucking shop, and it's just like, you know, super fun. And it's like, oh, what'd you work on today and stuff. It was really crazy.
It's a superpower. Like if you've got community that'll help you and you can help them, like I think that's part of why Calgary has like such a just like talented group of people.
Yeah, that was something that I really noticed about Calgary. It was genuinely actually a very open tattoo scene.
Yeah, fully. And where a lot of us went into our hidey holes over COVID, and then Instagram's not really like doing it for connecting people much anymore. Like I don't see anybody
not at
saying like the real life connection is more important than ever. You know?
Yeah,
That's good,
absolutely.
though.
So
Cool.
what is it about Calgary that's allowing that kind of community to blossom? Because you don't like you've been talking about, it's not happening everywhere else.
Gosh, I could only speculate, but maybe because it's smaller, it's like you could
It's
either
not that
decide
small,
to.
though.
I mean, the downtown area where most of the tattoo shops are, it's like teeny tiny. Like I could walk to Bushido in 15 minutes, and there's 2 shops in between I can stop in and say hi to.
Has there been a lot of shop hopping with artists though? Like have people worked in each other's shops quite a bit and that's kind of creating it, or
I've not like there has been, especially the last few years, especially after COVID. I think everyone was just craving like, wow, like everyone needed change. So there was like a whole swap, but I think that's super healthy. Like,
Yeah,
new
absolutely.
environments, pushing yourself to impress a new group of people you're working with, or anything like that. is good.
Like, I feel it wasn't shop swapping like it's happening. Because when I came out in 07, when I came here in 07, and people, I think it was because it was such a smaller community back then that they didn't have reliance on other things. They relied on each other here. And I think a bunch of them were also friends before they got into tattooing.
Mm,
I think that's what actually created that open environment and stuff.
maybe,
Like,
yeah.
you know, because Doug and James never tattooed together.
Yeah.
They never worked together, but they were like best friends, right?
I would say
So,
that's probably like Doug was probably the first one to take me to art shows at like the old Deadly locations and be like, "These are your friends, man.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna be any weirdness." And
yeah,
I like it. I guess you are what you learn. And if Doug's out there living it, just being friendly and like he would always talk about. Have you guys interviewed Doug yet?
oh yeah.
Did he talk
Oh,
about?
have you not
calling-
watched every episode we've done?
You know, I don't watch anything. I watch reruns
Wow.
of The Office. I'm understimulating
than this,
myself
trust
right
me.
now. But like if he talked to you about was it Bill Baker who started Icon? Is that his name? Yeah, he talked about calling him up and being so blown away that somebody so far away who didn't know him would just like give him the world of advice. And I think Doug, that left such an impression on him, which spread to all of Doug's children, which is like 30 of us. And yeah, I think you just see how well that works for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, Bill was like that when we worked together. Somebody would come in and ask where to get supplies, and you know, of course, we'd be like, "Fuck off!" And Bill would be like, "No, here, man." And he'd like photocopy
Yeah.
the Spalding catalog, and he'd be like, "They're probably not going to get any equipment, but if they do get equipment, you know, they might as well do the best job they can, and if they can't, just be good at cover-ups."
There
And
you
it's
go.
like, okay, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
So,
I think it's nice. And I think gatekeeping sucks, and we're realizing that more than ever. Like the way of the old apprenticeship is out the door.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of the people that consider themselves gatekeepers, they really,
It's just a way to feel better about yourself.
well, yeah, they're
Yeah,
not, you know, they shouldn't be a gatekeeper. It's like,
Mhm.
you know, like,
Tattooing's for everybody, and it's
tattooing's for everybody. But if you're gonna have somebody that holds like history as a gatekeeper or something, you need like savants like Dax,
Oh yeah.
right?
Dax
Like,
would come and spank you with some knowledge.
exactly, right? So yeah, you have these other people where it's like they don't really know much, so they try and protect the little they do know by pretending that it's all.
That
Yeah,
makes
totally.
sense, you know?
Yeah.
You can
So,
empathize
yeah.
with people when you know their motives.
try anyway. Fucking losers. All right. So when you opened up in the body ink location,
Yeah.
that was like, was that like a snap decision? Because did you come back and open, or did you come back and work somewhere?
I actually worked with Carrie for a few months. She just let me. She knew I was like looking to open a
over at
place and
Blackbird.
just was super supportive. And then it took probably like 6 months or so to find a spot. I don't know if I came wanting to find a spot, but I just like what I was just saying, where how like something new, you know, artists are always bouncing around trying to find that new. And I don't know if any of the shops, like I would have gone back to Bushido, honestly, but just my guts were like, I think you need to push yourself and do something new.
Yeah.
And a big part of me was like maybe not wanting to feel like I had to be at a shop all the time, or like, oh, you know, like feel like I owed them all my time, which I very much so did before. Like if I worked for somebody, I was like giving them my all. And then I'm like, I would like to travel and make my own schedule and just have a little more freedom, which I think everybody ended up finding out that that was the new way of things for like the last like decade. Everybody's like, I need a private studio because I just want to be. We're all like cats. We just want to like do our own thing.
We all wanted attention until it gets too close.
Yeah. I think that's good too. I think that's a good aspiration for an artist, but I think early in your career, that's probably the worst thing you can do, because you're just not going to fulfill your potential, right? Like you need to be exposed to other artists and be
yeah. And then like I think for a second I was like, maybe I'll just work by myself. And then, you know, best bro Jay was also looking for a change, and I was like, well, Jay and I can do this together and have a great time. And I don't think I could ever work by myself. Like I'm kind of working by myself just this week, like in between Allie moving to Victoria and Beans coming to take her spot, and I'm like, I'm lonely.
Way to go, Allie. Oh,
yeah, it's
sad
tough.
Sam. No, sad Sam.
No. No, it's nice when you can like listen to absolutely unhinged podcasts that you and your client decide to listen to. But no, you're right. Like doing, like you need other people around to learn, especially early on, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and you definitely had that. Which,
Yeah,
you know,
we had lots of people coming
condensed,
through.
Yeah, absolutely.
right? Like
Totally.
with Bushido and Steveson and all that traveling and stuff like that, you got a lot of education real quick in your early career.
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
really good. Right?
Yeah, I was a little sponge for a while. I couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
But then owning a shop also had like major growing pains attached to it, because then you know, people tell you like, you can do this. This is easy. You know, if that guy can do it, you can do it. And then if you put your actual whole heart into a shop,
it sucks.
Holy fuck, it's hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. If you have to be,
it's dealing with dealing with those other personalities, and you know.
Yeah, and then we're also dealing with like a huge change in the attitudes of tattooing. We went from like kind of wild westy, sweep everything under the rug, to like having huge explosions of shit coming out that should always be out. Like abuse isn't tolerated anymore, and people are feeling empowered to talk about it. And that had a personal effect on me with 2 people I hired. And like young Sam, who thought that everybody could get along and everyone has good intentions, like small town Sam, and also just sheltered in like tattoo spaces that had great people. Sure, I'd had some like run-ins that weren't so great that made me like clam up. Like I had my own experiences with it, but I think we all just had we're just rocked by how prolific it was. It's
totally
a wild time to be in tattooing. You know, I thought it was wild before. I thought all the wild stuff happened pre us, when people are getting their arms broken and stuff. But like, it's It's different wild now.
Yeah.
In a healthier way.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's always been skeezy people in tattooing. And
Yeah.
I think for a
Yeah.
little while, the new generation of tattooers, and I don't mean that just by like young people, I just mean like new into tattooing,
No.
bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and stuff. I don't think they realized that, oh, this person who seems nice is actually a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
They just know how to disguise it
Yeah.
super well,
Totally.
because a lot of tattooers have that really outgoing, extrovert, carny
That
personality,
charming, like
right? Charming, because they need to kind of like work you to get
Slimy.
tattooed and stuff. Exactly, right? So they can
Yeah.
really cover that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think being like, I've thought about this lots, like the changing of tattooing where all of a sudden all the counter girls were getting apprenticeships. That's my generation, you know, 15 years ago that those gates opened for us. Obviously there's one that came before me, but I feel like that's when the floodgates really started to open. And as soon as you get all the girls in, and then, you know, fast forward, the girls are letting the gays in, and then they're letting like the not, you know, someone just put it to me, like they tried to get into tattooing 1,000 times as like a more masked lesbian person. And those gates were closed until girls let them in. And then the fucking tide has completely changed after that. Like,
Yeah. I have a hard
Absolutely.
time kind of relating to any of that stuff because I worked at a shop in the early 90s where we had gay piercers, transgender piercers,
that's it.
Yep.
midgets. I still call them midgets. His name was Jordan. And he
Little
was
people.
an actor, and he was super cool. He moved out from London and worked for us.
Well, I love
And
to
my
hear
favorite
that,
thing
yeah.
my favorite thing to do to him was we had very high counters at Sacred Heart. So get ready for me to get canceled. My favorite thing would be coming to work in the morning, super hungover or still high, of course, and see him standing at the counter and be like, dude, sitting on the job again, because his eyes are only at the counter like that. So, yeah.
Well, if you're not razzing him, you're not working together.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, so in Toronto, I met him through my friend Kevin Barker, who's a body piercer at my shop, Fusion. And when we used to go to the bar, because Jordan was little, like he knew Jordan from London, Kevin used to wear Jordan as a backpack, like actually put him on his back facing the opposite way with backpack straps, so that and Kevin was like 6'6", and he'd go to the bar and Kevin would order a drink and then just turn around so that Jordan would be there and he'd order a drink. And then he moved to Vancouver to be an actor, and he came by the shop and we're like, hey dude, you want a job? Like, we needed a counter person, and he had lots of experience. He used to hang out at like Mike Austin's shop, like way back in the day and stuff, and super nice guy. But yeah. So yeah, it's really hard when people talk about this stuff. I'm like,
glad, but
I just didn't see that stuff.
Also-
like, even though our shop was like a bunch of white dudes, it was like Steve Moore and Michael and
gentle, lovely human.
Yeah, and like
but that's
Adam,
like Sacred Heart was a bit of an anomaly.
Katie Lang Sky, and like it was just such a different type of crew then, right? So
are you saying that Adam's haircut makes him look like Katie Lang?
We have been saying that Adam is slowly morphing into Katie Lang for at least 15 years. And you've never seen them in the same room, so
yeah.
It's a conspiracy theory for you.
I think what Shawn's talking about, though, is probably a bit of an isolated island on the West Coast.
100%. It really was. Like, that's why I don't mean it by like, I don't think it existed. I just mean like, I just never saw any of that shit. You know,
around
it's
good
like,
people.
Yeah.
And like, there's always been good people and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard to get a fucking apprenticeship. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Like, getting an apprenticeship still is not easy. Like, you're asking a lot of a person to give you an apprenticeship. So it's understandable if people say no a lot, you know?
Yeah.
It's better now. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was just saying earlier, so we complain on this all the time, how young people never come into shops anymore. It's always just like a random email, like, hey, I want an apprenticeship. And it's like, oh, who the fuck are you? This Saturday, 2 people came in with portfolios, not asking about apprenticeships. They straight up wanted their paintings critiqued.
I feel like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
You got people walking in.
That's awesome.
A lot.
That is awesome.
Critiques or whatever.
Yeah, that's super cool. I was stoked. Like,
yeah.
The one girl works at an art supply store actually that I go to. I've never met her, but I was just like, she was super cool. Her stuff was really good, and I was just like, she was like asking a lot about like history, and I was like, wait, I'm too tired and my back is broken to talk right now. So I just gave her like some Sailor Jerry books and the Mike McCabe New York Tattooing History book, and I was like, try and take care of these, borrow these for a few weeks, read them, and then come back and meet my friend Dax, who will talk your ear off when he's here for his guest spot. And she was stoked. I was like, awesome, there you go. That's what you'll get if you come in my shop and ask questions.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
I'll
So many
remember that
people
forever.
yeah. So, you know, and hopefully, you know, she's not going to get an apprenticeship with me, but hopefully she'll get one from somewhere. And she's super keen and she's trying really hard.
Yeah, and then like isn't scared off by somebody being like, "Get the fuck out of here!" What do
Yeah.
you think you're doing? Like,
Yeah. And
I don't think anyone says that anymore, do they?
dude.
I haven't. Really?
No,
Yeah.
see, now you're realizing we're in a friendly person bubble.
Yeah, totally.
Even worse, I think more
Oh.
people get ignored now because I know I just ignore a lot of them. I used to give like the nice, like, this is what you should do, and a cut and paste of like information about going into shops and all. Now I'm just like, no, delete.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they start out with like, oh, I think I could learn a lot from your shop, and then you immediately search their name and they're not even following you on Instagram. It's just like,
Yeah,
We
totally.
just hired some spam bot. To
yeah,
send it to everyone
totally.
I know.
Yeah. All right, we're way off track. Let's get back to Sam.
Totally. We always get off track.
Yeah. So 5 years at that location, and then now, so you've been here for
3 years. Yeah.
So 8
totally.
years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's been, a chunk. Now I've been tattooing, owning a business longer than I was tattooing beforehand.
So you've
I
been
was
tattooing
6,
for
7 years when I opened it.
okay, so
And
like
then
14,
now
15
8.
years now. Okay,
Yeah, 15.
very cool.
Almost 16.
Very cool.
We're getting
Oh,
old.
amazing. Moving on up. So Sam was just telling me before we set up that she camped last year in her car and was basically a week behind you a bunch of times.
Oh, that was the van trip. That was glamping.
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn. Oh, okay. Well, then tell
But
what.
Dave's got a very similar setup, like a big, tall
Yeah.
van.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually podcasted out of it. I threw a sack over Jessica from Capital Tattoo. I threw a sack over her head and threw her in the van. And then,
Consensually?
of course, it was her idea.
Living out some.
It was her idea. Yeah, it was her idea. But, and then by the end of the podcast, she said something about like the cooler. And Dave's like, no, that's the toilet.
You put your drinks in there.
It was awesome. That was a fun
That's so
podcast.
sick.
Yeah, it's a
Like-
funny
like-
looking cooler.
Much like what Dave's doing, like after COVID, is very much so like trying to reclaim your time and life and feel like
Yeah.
you're doing something.
Okay, so the van thing is different from the car thing. Was the car
Yeah.
thing just you or you're
The
on
car
your
was
own?
me and my Honda Pilot, and I just put the seats back and a foamy on top of all my clothes, and I just went for a month.
And where you started in Calgary, and where did you go?
I drove Montana, Utah, California, and then Arizona, New Mexico to go to Shrine, and then Colorado, Wyoming, Montana home. Like a big, and that was super fun. Learned a lot about myself, like healed
I
some
bet.
shit that I think, when you're so busy all the time, you can't take care of your.
Yeah,
Did
when
you
you're
see what baggage I brought into tattoo?
yeah,
I was like, carrying some baggage.
yeah, you're just sitting there in your big magnifying glass of self, like,
Oh
Alone
my God.
with no reception.
Yeah.
Driving forever.
And I fell in love with it, to be honest. And I went out for another month, in the summertime, 2 months after, and that was way more of a party fun, yay, also some self-reflection. More
any tattoo stuff involved, or just a stop
Oh,
at
gosh.
Shrine?
The stop at Shrine on the first one was the only tattoo thing. I tattooed my friend in his pool house.
Okay.
That was fun. Just trying to be a little fly by the seat of my pants. I taught my friend's 8-year-old how to tattoo.
Sweet.
Technically
Nice.
my first apprentice. Just it's my first time with a wireless pen, and they're so it's basically kid friendly.
Yeah.
So I sat behind her. She was right here, and I was almost had my arms around, just
Did you play the theme song from Ghost?
with an 8-year-old girl. Shawn.
Wow, come on, you don't have to
Get
make-
canceled.
Come on, Jesus.
There is nothing asexual about the claim.
That's, I guess, yeah, true.
But I taught her how to tattoo her parents, and it was super cute and fun.
Cool.
Bonding moment for all of us. We've all been good friends for a long time. But guest spot at Shrine was so sick. like that's when I came back and I added more stations to the shop because I learned that being like cozy and comfy next to each other is actually really nice. Like I had this whole spot. This is probably like a 10-foot area to myself tattooing, and like easily fits another person. So
Yeah.
Shrine was awesome. If anybody ever like
Was Stace there yet at that time?
actually, I picked up Stace from Albuquerque because we've both been friends with Zach for a long time since King's Ave days, and those two are just like besties. And I was like, "Do you want to come? I'm going to go through." So we go down for a week, and we're guesting, and Zach's taking us to like these like hot spring soaking spa places that are just everywhere. Like the lifestyle in Santa Fe is so cool. And Zach's born and raised. His parents were photographers who moved there in the 70s. And the art scene, like everyone who works at Shrine too, is just like super cool. Like it's got such magic there right now. That I was like driving Stace home to the airport, like back to Albuquerque, and he was just like, I think I have to do something. Like called lawyers like weekend. He got
really
to start the immigration process.
cool.
And, yeah, he was there in like a few months, but that was very like it was an impressive like entry back into guesting after COVID. I had a blast.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that shop is amazing.
Yeah. You had a blast and you made us lose one of the best in Canada. Cool.
Something casual 25-hour drive away. He was just back here this weekend too.
Was he?
He's got ties. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, we're gonna have him on soon too.
Yeah, next time he's in town.
Yeah, and Stu. You're gonna have Stu.
Yeah, that's who the tattooers I was hanging out with on the weekend. We watched like a big titty anime movie in a bookstore basement that our friend Shawn puts on called Hunk Vision. So sick. It was like the best, most wholesome tattooer hangout.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, watching big titty anime.
Yeah, totally.
Watching girls with big titties fight monsters made of big titties. It was incredible.
Oh, even better.
There you go. I can't wait to see the artwork coming out after that.
Yeah.
So I have this idea for a back piece.
Imagine boobs. Hey, that's my job.
All right. So who came with you to here? So Jay came with you originally.
Yeah, Jay, Allie, and our friend Kay. They used to go by Kate. Was it Allie? Was it just the four of us when we moved here? Who else was here? Just the four of us for like a good year, and then everyone was like ants in their pants and needed change. And Kay moved to like the middle of nowhere, like Rossland, BC. I guess it's not the middle of nowhere for people around the Kelowna area, but and then Jay went and moved with Stu to a place where he could close the door and pick his own music. Doesn't want to listen to Justin Bieber anymore, I guess. And then and then Allie's just moved to Victoria, so like huge swap outs. But yeah, like we were saying at the beginning, it's totally healthy and normal and good. Change is inevitable. Yeah, you can fight it and be a dick about it, or you can just like support your friends.
Yeah.
That's
now you got beans coming,
and now we got beans coming. Very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Are you doing any conventions or guest spots this year?
I will probably be back to guest at Saved, like the reiteration of Saved in LA that used to be in Brooklyn. Oh my God. I just like got on like a house on fire with the guys that worked there and like super loved my time there because the car camping trips were 2 separate trips. And then I reconnected with my friend Dave. We started dating because we were both bonding over living in our vehicles. He like lives in a totally like custom cabinets. Like it looks like a show home for a van.
Did he make a YouTube channel for it while he built it?
Everybody asks, and he's like, no. And then I think there was even a guy at the border. The guy was like, oh, I think you're the first person who hasn't started a YouTube channel living in a van. It was just too cool. But we went down to California for like 2 months, January, February, and a bit of March this year. And then I worked down in LA, and oh my God, had a blast. Like Scott Campbell, fabulous artist, even more fabulous person. They're in the middle of renovating like their space, so it's just all of us tattooing in a basement. But then say Dave's hitting LA traffic and he's an hour and a half late to pick me up. We have a pool and a hot tub on the roof. So
What?
I'm going back. And everyone was there was like so fantastic. Like Carlos gave me my first stick and poke tattoos, which are like
Oh, cool.
a little demon and I finally got a
Let me
mermaid.
see the tail.
It's just dots.
Yeah, it's super fun. That's awesome.
I feel perfect too. He's very good at it.
Cool.
Now I'm like, wow, that was painless. I've been getting machine tattoos this entire time.
I know. You
I
see Slower
know.
Black's work?
Oh, I love her work.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
totally.
great.
Yeah,
Like, holy fuck.
yeah, the stuff people are doing.
And it's like, oh, 20 hours. It's like, you did that in 20 hours? That's amazing.
Yeah, the speed is crazy
Yeah.
too now.
Yeah.
So way.
All right. So LA, save.
Oh, and then guest spots. Like I was thinking about doing Austin. I've never met him, but like Trophy Tattoos, who puts it on, is really cool. Actually, since all the shit came out, this is important. Since all the shit came out, like with people who had worked for me and just for everyone, getting like the Tattoo Me Too movement, me and a couple friends sat down and wrote a code of conduct that conventions can use.
Nice.
And it's written specifically for like tattooing because there's so many, like you do have to touch a person's body. You can't just have blanket statement, no touching.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do meet clients and form relationships, so there needs to be like respectful
Yeah.
room for that. Like
Yeah.
like have things be reasonable, but also have like a way for conventions to protect the people going to them. So I've made it like free use. It's got Calgary logo and branding on it because the Calgary convention, Steve was the first person to like adopt it and put it into place. But anybody can like take it and use it and just hope it does some good. Because then when shit comes up at conventions and people are like, I don't know, like I never thought I would have to deal with this, and
Yeah.
the bullshit that ensues, you've got like rules to fall back on to be like, oh, you knew what the rules were. You're not supposed to fuck around and make people uncomfortable and send dick pics and coerce people. Like you're meant to be a good dude, at least within the confines of the event. And hopefully that'll help, set a standard.
Absolutely.
We're hoping to make a code of conduct that's like shop specific too, that people can adopt. Just so that there's like less excuses, and then no one can be like, I didn't know I was supposed to treat women like shit. Like,
Oh, fuck.
yeah. So
Can you send a copy of that over?
I absolutely
we'll put it up
will. Actually, I might see if I can't make that more accessible somehow. I just have it on Google Drive. So if anybody like,
well, give Dave a link and we can throw it up.
yeah, totally. And if
I
anybody
can
wants
link
to
it through the website and
absolutely. If anyone wants to send me a DM, I'm happy to just send them a copy too.
Just a DM.
just request. Just a request.
No pictures.
No pictures.
Wait, what?
Hey, can I get a code of conduct? Here's a dick pic.
Oh God. I haven't got one of those in a long time.
Oh, don't say that because that's going to open the floodgates.
I'm just gonna take a picture quick here.
Oh, those? That's like, okay, watch my inbox just die. Fun
You'll be
arty.
publicly outed.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of like fun tattoo parties where people actually would consensually show you their dick because they've tattooed it in a cool way.
So you're talking about Dino
I've
specifically?
seen Dino's a few times. I think he passed out with it still out. But it's impressive. Like, I think it's Ben Ackerman. I think that's who it is. Has the most beautiful dick tattoo I've ever seen of like Victorian scroll work. Like, I'll be able to show you. Starts here, like goes all the way down. And to this day, I'm like, bravo. Those are welcome.
Yeah, I like Dino's. Hey man, have you ever seen my sacrilege? I'm like, what? I had no idea what he's talking about. Next thing I know, I'm looking at his balls because he's got an upside down cross on his one ball, and it's his sacrilege.
Just on one ball. I feel like that's
Yeah,
made for like
he has something on his other
center
ball.
shaft.
I don't know what it is?
I think it's an anchor.
It is. Yeah, it is.
In my brain.
Yeah.
But those are fun. That's like,
yeah.
I can just picture. I just picture him sitting at home doing that himself. Like,
I picture him in the middle of the day in front of a busy shop at Hedley doing it on himself.
Yeah.
That's what I picture.
stretched out over a tennis ball.
I got no showed. What are you gonna do? Tattoo my balls. Anthony, you're the apprentice. Come here. I need somebody to help stretch.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
I heard a tennis ball was the way, actually.
Oh, really?
One hand and a tennis ball. The more you know.
Yeah. The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
The more you don't want to get done.
What about your van adventures, Dave? Are you going anywhere soon?
We're going to Oregon in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, where to?
Yeah, we're taking the surf skis and outriggers and going to a big race, 22K race down the Columbia River. Yeah,
that's
can't wait.
impressive.
Yeah, gonna drive over 1,000 kilometers to paddle 22 kilometers.
Well, we'll be there all week, so we'll probably paddle more like 150K. Yeah, can't wait.
Exciting.
Yeah, the van life's fun.
Liberating. Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to sleep wherever, and I don't know. You drive a lot though. That's the only downside. Is there's so much fucking driving.
Oh, I love the driving. You just got to get in a good zone. Get a good playlist.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is, but it's after a while, it's like, oh my god,
stop and do something for sure.
We were in South Padre, and we were like, we got to go home from here. At the southernmost point of Texas. It's like that's going to be 5 days.
You were there in January.
So for 5 days, we're going to be fucking driving.
Oh my gosh! On that same trip, I know you and I were both hitting we're just dodging the bad weather everywhere we went.
Yeah,
Arizona had such a shitty winter for Arizona standards.
What was good for Arizona compared to California? California was fucked. That's what we got out of there.
Where we were most of the time, and we just decided to say fuck it and went down to Mexico, actually, which was super fun.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, really smart.
That's super cute. That's filled with Albertans.
Oh, really?
We ended up meeting some friends down there that are from Calgary.
Wild.
I went back in April and hung out with them again. It was fun.
Oh, amazing.
It's called L Anti-Vaxxer.
Oh, too funny.
All right. So no conventions then?
We'll probably do Calgary again for fun.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have anything on the docket coming up. If anybody here wanted to, I think we would if we wanted to do more as a shop, that would be super fun. I think going on my own and doing it can be fun, but I'm at the time now where if I'm going somewhere, I want to see the place I'm going. I don't want to see.
Yeah.
I love I would love to do more guest spots or just go visit shops and say hi and make friends, but just ended up spending your entire vacation tattooing. I don't know. Maybe it's just the phase I'm in right now where that's not fulfilling at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
I'm the same.
Fun, going all the way to Montreal to just do the convention and leave when that's such a good, fun city is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the people in Toronto, same thing. It's flew in for Toronto convention and then leave. It's make a vacation out of it.
Totally. Well, Montreal's an interesting spot because I think cities like that or go to Europe and work and you almost get a better sense of what it's like to live in these more walkable, super charming, beautiful architecture. I'm into that for sure. But at the same time too, you get to a point where you're just spread so thin. You have friends in so many places. It's where do you even? You start visiting one place, and then everyone's like, "Well, you haven't been here in a million years." So can't do the circuit anymore.
I did Vancouver.
Our careers are just deadline after deadline after deadline, and then you go to an even more high stress environment to do the same thing creatively, and it just fucking drags you down. A vacation is a great way to recharge.
High stress is what I am avoiding, the plague right now. So
same.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's why Santa Fe, very chilled out, very arty.
Yeah,
you're just experiencing a cool way of life.
I did Vancouver just a couple months ago, and I went as a tourist.
Like you paid admission to go to the Vancouver convention?
Like, no, I didn't go to the convention. I went to Vancouver. I went to Vancouver for a concert, and I took Julia, and it turned out she had never been to Vancouver, even though she'd been on the island. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, so if you want to see your friends or whatever." I'm like, "Fuck my friends." I'm like, "We're going to this. We're going to the seawall. We're going here. We're going there." Like,
Yeah.
it was super. I had such a great time. Like, I had dinner with Michael and his wife April, of course, on the first night, but the rest of it, I'm like, I don't need to go inside tattoo shops that I've been in hundreds of times, man. Let's go do super fun things.
That's
It's the same. Like when we go to Austin, it's like I'm gonna go to one shop and only one shop, and that's it. Like the rest of the time, I'm not there for that. You know? So
yeah, I'll pop into the people I really care about and like say hi for sure. But you could do that all day in Vancouver if you wanted.
No shit.
Get it, it's like, and you start seeing one person, and if an Instagram post happens, then it's
and somebody feels sad, and then you feel bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
What concert did you see?
Spirit Box.
Oh, I don't know them.
They're amazing.
What kind of music?
Like I don't want to say like screamcore. Female singer. Okay. You ever heard the band I Wrestled the Bear Once?
No.
Okay, so it's the singer Courtney LaPlante and her husband Mike from I Wrestled the Bear Once, and they live in Victoria, and they started this band called Spirit Box, and they are amazing.
That is more what I would like to do, is like travel to go see music.
Yeah.
I just went to Nashville to go see Taylor Swift.
Awesome.
Wow.
That was fun. It was fun.
I bet it was.
It turned out so many Swifties showed up that it doubled the population of Nashville, and then you couldn't do anything. Everything was so clogged. Like it waited 2 hours to get hot chicken, and this is ridiculous. So maybe not that again, but someone else.
Maybe go to a metropolis.
Maybe go to like a small band. That would be nice.
That's hilarious. So, like, did they have a venue big enough for all those people, or were they just there hoping?
3 nights, 70,000 people. Okay. No one was allowed to choose what city they saw her in, so every single person traveled. Yeah, it was bananas.
So, like, you bought a ticket online, and then it was like, you're going to Nashville.
Well, my friends bought a ticket online and spent 9 hours doing so, and then I just showed up, and I was probably like the least deserving person to be there, because, maybe I'm a certified Swiftie now, but I didn't think I was before.
Yeah.
But
she puts on a good show.
The show we went to, it was top tier.
I saw her Tiny Desk performance, actually. It was really good.
Oh, she's an incredible musician. And just the budget they had, it was like, I've never seen anything like that. But we went to a show that got delayed by 4 hours because of some lightning. We were sequestered, sheltering in place with 70,000 Taylor Swift fans.
Oh, my God.
For 4 hours. We got so drunk. And watched 11 people have panic attacks. The show's gonna get canceled.
Oh fuck!
It was an experience. But now I can't stop listening to her.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I follow this world champion jiu-jitsu girl, and she's like the biggest Swiftie.
Really?
If she's not posting about her competing, it's like just Taylor Swift stuff. It's same thing. Just nonstop. It's pretty funny. Yeah. It's real. Well, there's that Canadian politician that is took up a legislative thing to basically give Taylor Swift's people shit for having no Canadian dates on her Eros tour.
Oh,
this tour that she's on right now.
Well, she's only tattooing huge football stadiums, and I don't think we have.
We don't have that many or
she
that big.
Fit in our shit. That's.
Yeah, our stadiums are 20,000 people, maybe. That's not enough.
Yeah, there's 70,000, 80,000 people at ours.
And she'd be over in Europe doing 150,000 football stadiums and shit.
Yeah.
So crazy. Tattooing?
Yeah, no, I went to Spirit Box at the Commodore, and it was great.
What? This is a Taylor Swift podcast.
We just lost 3 of our 6 followers.
And then you gained 10,000.
I'm going to hashtag Taylor Swift.
Don't say anything bad, Dave. Those 10,000 will come after you. They will come fast, and they will come swift.
Oh, of course. Dad jokes.
So your art.
Oh, you know what? Back to, I know you want me to answer more stuff about conventions. tattooing, I would like to come back to Kelowna if I can. I might be driving through last minute, maybe just visiting. And if Rob lets me take a little corner of a good guy booth, maybe I'll come do it because Kelowna's a fun one.
We're going to be there podcasting.
Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
See you there. We'll do a follow up and see how much I tanked your venture.
We just had a great follow up with Ali Tex. It was awesome.
We might have to follow up.
So
because I got 20 minutes before my next meeting.
What?
Yeah, well, you guys are running a half hour behind.
This shit up.
Yeah.
You're gonna ask me about painting, and I'm gonna not have a lot of answers. So
fine, your paintings are awesome. I'm sitting here staring at them, getting super annoyed.
Well, they are taking like a year in between for me to find the time and motivation to do. So I go home and I'm attempting to teach myself oil painting, but like not tattoo looking stuff. But it's really hard. It's hard to like start. It's hard to go from doing something all day where you're like, I feel pretty confident. I know all my tricks. You just make things look the way you want to make it. And then going to feeling like an incompetent little baby and just throwing out every painting you ever do. So I think I'm going to take some classes and actually like put some effort into trying something new.
Cool.
What do you do? Is it figurative or are you doing like landscapes?
I'm just doing still lifes in my house with like bones and lemons. Just random. Or I'm just trying to like I painted my brother a little painting and it's like of the house we grew up in. And it's
that's cool.
Nice.
That's like, but just the medium itself is ridiculous.
Yeah. I've never even tried oil painting. I have a hard
fucking hard.
Every other type of painting.
I watched Craig Fenrick try to teach us at Capella once, and he was just like, "You just do it like this." And then like it took him 45 minutes to whip up a total Bob Ross, and like he had just done it and it looked easy, and I think he gave me some false confidence thinking I could do this.
Yeah, he would.
Because it's not easy.
I was talking to he came to my shop the other day and he was like, I was like, dude, the fuck, your black and gray is just so goddamn smooth. And we're talking about how fast he is. I'm like, I don't understand how you can tattoo that fast and be smooth. He's like, just gotta dip it and rip it, bro. Just dip it and rip it.
It's just like
it's just as easy as that. Just dip it and rip it, and you'll have the smoothest black and gray. No problem.
Just say that when you're doing it. That's probably the key. Dip it and rip. Dip and rip.
It sounds violent.
I need the hair though. I need the hair to throw it back. Be like, fucking dip it and rip it. Yeah. Anyways, so all right, let's hit you with the hard one then.
Yeah.
Top 5 tattooers.
Top 5 tattooers right now or of all time?
No, your favorites.
Either.
For you.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, well, oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go with right now because I'm just geeking out on certain stuff right now.
Perfect.
But I'm really geeking on Kira, Havisha, Bushido, their work that they're doing, drawing things on that takes 1 million hours to draw on, so that it like fits so perfectly. Like they're a younger tattooer and they're just exploding with their skills. And that's what I'm really excited to watch. No, La Tigresse.
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm geeking out on their stuff right now. This is so hard.
That's one.
Yeah, okay, that came to mind because I was just like looking for stuff literally last night. Jay Breen is one of my forever favorites. Underrated because I don't know why he's underrated, but he is.
I love his stuff,
especially for like the absolute uniqueness of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna try getting to do my armpit soon.
Cool. I have a little Jay Breen painting. Love it.
Yeah, me too. Right here.
Yeah, mine's about the same size. Got it hanging in my bedroom.
All over the shop, but I've got one right there that has googly eyes on it. Okay, favorites. Dear Lord.
It was all easy a second ago.
Oh,
hey, you want to go back to talking about paintings and art?
On the spot, I'm just, and you're not going to edit this out.
No. This is our favorite part.
I'm going to make Dave late for his meeting. Okay. Here, Jay. I mean, those are my locals that I love. I can't like do this without my phone too. This is very difficult.
If you'd watched the episodes
Who's?
before,
Alex-
you'd know we were going to ask.
Oh, Alexander Grimm, one of my all-time faves. Thanks for the lifeline, Allie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get like what I just got laser tattooed over by him because he's like heavy black, but he was in Russia and everyone was like, "Don't go to Russia." And then I think he just moved to Czech Republic. So I might.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I remember coming across his stuff
Haven't
years
even
ago
asked
when
yet,
he
to be
did
honest.
his then girlfriend's back piece, that dragon. I don't know if you
Oh, yeah.
saw it. That was the first thing that I ever seen of his. He was doing Japanese stuff actually.
Oh.
And it was
Yeah.
just huge, black and gray.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's like this huge fucking electronica DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, and she had this amazing back piece, and he had like 4 things on his Instagram,
Mhm.
and then like
Yeah.
they disappeared, and then the more gothic stuff started coming back,
Yeah.
and then they disappear, and then some newer stuff comes. Yeah, that guy's so good.
Yeah, he's incredible. I'm also
Yeah.
geeking over a gal. I want to say she's in Australia or Asia somewhere. Obviously, I'm not remembering very well, but she's Miss Orange on Instagram, who just does these like
Miss
there's a
Orange.
print. I thought of it because her print's right there, and just these like gorgeous.
The samurai.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
Simple palette, like super graphic, beautiful faces.
Like a simpler Hannah Flowers.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Boiled down, Asian
yeah.
influence.
Super fucking cool.
Very, very nice. And like I forever love Emily Rosemary. Like
Yeah.
she's been a constant for me forever. Just and compositionally, her stuff's just getting cooler too. And then I need one more, don't I?
No, that's 5.
One more.
You can do it. You got this.
Isn't that 5?
Well, it's just a cop out to say
That was
Steve
5.
more, but what's up, Steve? I love you.
No, you already hit 5.
Last one didn't count. Steve, this hit another-
Just my whole back, like, and it's still one of my favorites. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like absolute top tier for compassion too, because I know I'm a little tiny baby to get tattooed. So
Same.
he deserves
Yeah.
like all the accolades in the world. I'm putting up with that.
Yeah, he had to tattoo me more than once, and that's a horrible, horrible endeavor for anybody.
You know what? He
Oh.
introduced me to numbing cream, which I didn't have for the entire back until the last session. And I was
Hey, you already
What
know
is
about
it?
this stuff?
no, I had never heard of it. It was not a thing
Amazing.
before. It's my list. It's like that's all over. I don't know. You squeezed it out of me, but
No, that's good.
it's my
Oh,
list
that's
right
awesome.
now. There's a
Yeah,
bazillion
that's-
though.
Those people will now have 2 to 4 new followers after this show airs.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Well, it's lovely catching up with you guys.
it's great
I know I
seeing
haven't
you.
seen you in so long.
Yes.
I saw
Yeah.
you more recently in Vancouver, but it's nice to hear you're still going out there and being a little hippie in your van. That's the
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm the farthest
Thanks for coming
thing
on
from a
your
fucking
day off.
hippie.
Thanks for coming down.
Of course.
Post tattoo too.
Yeah.
You need to get your post tattoo nachos on now.
Yeah, now I get to drive home.
So, I'll give you a good
Let's
road
catch
trip
up in
playlist.
Kelowna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you bet, guys. We'll see each other soon for sure.
Bye, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See you, asshole.